Howdy folks, it's Chloe and Kevin and Buttons and Bruce. It's been a while since I posted on this channel. So, I decided I'd give everyone an update who has stuck around on this channel. You might remember me from years in the past when I used to do Magic the Gathering content here. And just wanted to give everyone an update to tell you that I'm still alive and kicking it and actually still making YouTube videos over at my store channel called Gone Rogue Games. And this is one of the type of videos that I have been doing lately, is every day at work, I take the dogs around 7 o'clock. As you can see, the sun is blazing here, going down here. It's May in Utah, beautiful Utah. Nice blue skies, still have some snow on the mountains back there, but is definitely melting off. And this is my favorite time of year, so love to get the dogs out. And I've just been talking shop lately on my Gone Rogue Game channels. I do the walks and just giving everyone updates on the market, things going on at the store. So I thought I would do one here and put some content on this channel to, again, just let everyone know that I still am making YouTube videos, still am alive, and kind of want to explain to myself of where I've been for the Rogue Deck Builder. So it all started with the Rogue Deck Builder. That is where, basically this entire career path that I've chosen, the starting of Gone Rogue Games, all was because of that channel. So I kind of feel bad for letting that channel die, or this channel that I'm recording on, but I want to give my reasoning. And I don't know, I'm kind of flirting with actually reviving this channel because we actually fired Friday Night Magic for 3 weeks in a row now here at Gone Rogue Games. And that's one of the main reasons that this channel has suffered. Is, yes, I did go through some creative burnout, but the main thing is there just wasn't an atmosphere to really enjoy Magic the Gathering for quite some time. I'd even say that the start of the downfall was thrown in the drain. You can actually go back on my channel and see how little by little I was getting more and more jaded with building decks and keeping up with content on the Rogue Deck Builder. I know that around that time I transitioned and made a channel called the Rogue Market, which was quite successful. And I kind of let that channel die as well. And then I've been just having fun with my Gone Rogue Games channel. But it was really thrown to the drain and that forward with a lot of the power creeping and what I like to call autopiloting of Magic the Gathering. We had some really bad standards in a row where it felt like you couldn't even brew decks. And then with Modern and Pioneer just being full of so much cheese, I think Modern Horizons 1 and 2 really killed my desire to actually brew in those formats. And the main thing, I think the main culprit for this channel suffering was when the community was split in two with MTGO and Magic Arena. And I spent so much of my Rogue Deck Builder channel was actually making decks on Magic the Gathering Online. And I felt when they came out with Arena, I really thought the writing was on the wall, and that format, or that MTGO would eventually die. And so I didn't want to invest any more money into MTGO, and I tried to transition over to Arena. And I've actually just hated Arena. Since the very beginning, I've hated Arena. I've hated the way that they have been focused more on the oohs and ahs and the booms and busts of Arena to not even create like a decent platform. And I was hoping and waiting for things to get better on that platform that would make it like more enjoyable to create content and stream. But I think I finally gave up on that. There isn't even an easy way to, create game, host games, chat with people on Arena. It's just even their deck builder, you can't drag cards like you can on MTGO. Like all that stuff is just, it might seem like minute to people that don't create content, like, oh, that's not a big deal. But when you try to create content, anything that makes life easier, where you have to do less editing, is always, that's always a plus. And you can't even do replays. It doesn't save your games like MTGO does. And it's just sad that that's the kind of the state that I probably should just go back to MTGO. But like I said, it was like when they split from Arena to MTGO, which has been years now, I admit, I can't do both. And it felt like everything back then too, like all the tournaments were being held more on Arena than MTGO. And I still don't even know why they even try to keep up both platforms. It seems so stupid at this point. But anyway, I digress. So that was kind of the beginning of the downfall of the Rogue Deck Builder. And the second part was what I like to call the commandrification of Magic, where here at my store, like I said, we finally fired F&M, Friday Night Magic Standard. We actually had people playing Standard for the first time in years. And our Commander nights are packed, where all of our table space is full of Commander players. And Commander's okay. Sometimes I occasionally like to brew decks. I think Commander is something where I like to brew a deck, play it once, and I just can't get into Commander. I just can't have fun playing in like pickup game Commanders. And to be honest, I don't think I'd necessarily have fun even playing Commander with friends or with people that also enjoyed Commander. And none of my friends like Commander to begin with. All the friends that I met through Magic are still more of the draft and Standard. So I don't really have a home of like the people I enjoy playing Magic the Gathering with. You know, what I've always liked about 1v1 Magic versus Commander is you could care less who your opponents are in 1v1. You're basically there to win. That's the whole, or just showcase a deck to see how well it does against a field. And so your opponent is your opponent. It doesn't need to be like a friend. It's not like a board game experience where it's much more enjoyable with people you like to interact with. Whereas Commander, I think you have to have that element. And as I stated, none of my close friends play Magic the Gathering, or people that I have that I consider close friends that play Magic the Gathering. Of course, we prefer to do things like draft. So there was a steady decline of my desire with all of those elements out of the way now, where the commandrification of Magic had pushed my story even into, mostly just playing Commander. And I think the brews and this channel really suffered because it just took that oomph away for me to want to create decks and to, keep this channel going. But as I stated, I think I've been a little bit reinvigorated, especially, I guess one of my good buddies that I met through Magic, his name is Tyler, he has been showing up with a brew for our F&M. So I was lazy and just kind of played a couple tier decks just with cards we had lying around. So I just played we had a Boros Tokens deck from last rotation that I played one of the F&Ms, and then I built like an Esper, my flavor of Esper bounce, which I know Tyler's pretty upset with me because I was playing Arena, I think a few sets ago before we got a few more pieces, and I was on the Dimir bounce way before the meta was, and now Tyler's like, you could have got in on that deck before it was mainstream. That's one of the things I used to do, is try to get ahead of the curve. So I was playing with I can't remember this Nashi, the little mouse dude, that when it connects, it can get like an enchantment, a legendary, right? Enchantment, legendary, or something else. So you look at the amount of cards equal to the damage that Nashi does, and then you get to pick a card that's like an enchantment or from Duskmourn, the Duskmourn one. Anyway, so I had a brew that was actually very similar to what Esper Bounce is now, and was toying around with that a long time ago. And so Tyler was so upset because he still feels like, you could have been, weeks or months ahead before that deck became mainstream. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, Tyler's been actually showing up with this super cool landfall build, and it just kind of got those gears going again. It's like, man, this is where it all began. I remember creating my very first video on this channel called Epic Experiment, clear back and return to Ravnica in 2015 or 2014, and it all just it all went from there. So this channel actually was by far my most successful project, and it just kind of feels sad that I did let it go. I know that I morphed over to this more of a commentary channel where I would do just things going on in the community, and I just bowed out of that. I haven't interacted with anyone from Magic the Gathering in a long time. Tasty Snackies is really the only person that occasionally will do a podcast with or talk Magic with. Other than that, as far as content creators are concerned, yeah, I have not done a collaboration or really talked Magic. The last Magic event that I went to was about a year and a half ago with the Salt Lake, what do they even call that now? I can't remember what they even call that the gathering of Magic that actually didn't happen this year because of, I think, financial problems. They ended up shutting it down. And so, yeah, it's just been there's just been a lot of factors that just led to me not producing content on this channel for quite some time. But if you do want to keep touch with me, I still am posting content quite regularly over at the Gone Rogue Games channel, and Rogue Market, a little less to extent. I'll go on little sprees of doing content for the Rogue Market. So I still find it very enjoyable to create the financial, the picks. I think that, I don't know if splitting the channels was ever a good idea. I always had this vision that I'd have the content of the brews on this channel, And I think I split it into the Rogue Market. So it's like, okay, people that just want the market stuff can go over to the Rogue Market channel. And then I started doing these sort of videos, just kind of talking shop and showing you around the day in the life of what we do at the store over the Gone Rogue Game channel. And so, I don't know, maybe I should have just merged all the channels together and kept them all in one home. However, that was kind of my vision, so I could create different content for different people. So I've got a beautiful sunset coming up here. I just want to show this. So I often go up this channel on my Gone Rogue Games channels and talk about kind of the area here and other things that I got going on in my life. But yeah, so hiking and outdoors is a huge aspect of my life. I've got 3 dogs here. So Zach has a dog named Bruce. Come here, Brucey. So this is Bruce. If I don't know how much has been shown on this channel, Bruce is actually Button's brother from a different litter. So I have Buttons. I don't know how much Button showed up on this channel before I, really quit doing these type of videos. And of course, we know Chloe. Chloe has been around on this channel since the OG days. In fact, I introduced her on this channel, on the Rogue Deck Builder channel, like 11 years ago almost, is when she was a little puppy and could fit in my hands. And remember doing a lot of videos with Chloe in the background. So anyway, I digress. So where was I with this channel? Is one of the comments is like, show more of the territory. No one wants to see your ugly face. We want to see the beautiful landscape of Utah as you talk. So yeah, this channel actually got so dead that YouTube sent me a notification that if I quit creating content, they're going to actually boot me from their little program, their little content program, where you can monetize and have a lot more features. So I have some decisions to make: either let this channel completely die, and let that project where the love, the first creative spark go, or I figure out some way to actually bring this channel back and get some sort of rhythm of where I can enjoy creating content and enjoy Magic the Gathering. So I thought of a few ideas. Like, I still am huge into board games. I play on a website called Board Game Arena, and there'll be games like Harmonies and Wingspan and Terraform Mars, Castle Combo, Point Salad. Those type of videos, or those type of games I still like to actually play on Board Game Arena. I wonder if people would find that enjoyable to talk strategy with those type of things. I'm thinking about creating a series just called Kevin's Day Off, where I just play a board game I enjoy on Board Game Arena, and I think that'll give me a break. And Final Fantasy is actually seeming quite fun. Now, that was another thing too, is the whole universe is beyond, like the whole discombobulation of Magic the Gathering into something that I no longer recognize with, as I mentioned before, the commandrification of Magic, where every set was focused so much on Commander, the destroying Modern with Modern Horizons, where it just became like a way too high-powered format to where I no longer found it enjoyable, and kind of like the Theros, Ikoria, Throne of Eldraine era, where brewing was super dead for a long time because there was just so many autopilot decks where it was very, very hard to veer from those. There's so many just best in slots, the power creeping. But now, like, I've come to a point, like Zach and I were having this conversation about Standard. And, I do like high-powered Magic. I do like Modern. Like, the whole Soul Sisters era of Modern that got me a Pro Tour, and really, I think, catapulted my channel, was a high-powered format. And it's very similar. I would say Modern of that time, of 2015 Modern, 2015 through 2018 Modern, this is one of my favorite plants here. It's called, I think, Indian Paintbrush is what this plant's called. Anyway, so that time period during Modern, or during 2015 and 2018, was some of my favorite times of playing Magic. And the power level is actually quite similar now, like a turn 4 format. Is very similar to that of Standard right now. So I think I can find some enjoyment of actually playing Standard if I just kind of program my mind and make that I enjoyed Modern back then, I can enjoy Standard right now. So it's not a lot of cheese. There is cheese in Standard, but I mean, there was cheese in Modern at that point, but you can actually brew in Standard again, which I think is really, really fun. And Buttons has some energy today. What you up to, bud? Did you find something cool? You're just running around like crazy. So anyway, that is where I'm at with this channel, that I think that, I think I could find enjoyment again doing maybe some brews, maybe bringing back playing on a budget, maybe doing like Tuesday Brews Day and playing on a budget. And then, probably go back to some original roots too. I know people that did enjoy my rant videos of what's going on, but I think I got a little too whiny with Magic. And then I do those rant videos, I'd be like, what, screw it. I'm done with this stupid game. I'm done with the direction that Wizards has taken this. I can't stand the community. I can't stand, like, there was very little enjoyment left to be had in Magic. Like, again, they doubled down on so many things that I couldn't find stomachable for the entire scene. But, you know, I made my bed, and I still do enjoy playing Magic. Like, something that I can say that I have enjoyed is the limited environment. Like, all the pre-releases have been absolutely amazing. They've been really, really fun. Like, all the mechanics, I've had quite the fun time. As I pick up rocks. One of my hobbies is actually rock collecting. So you can see my eyes are always darting and trying to, like, ooh, is this rock polishable? Ooh, is this rock cool? So anyway, I'll try not to be distracted. I've still enjoyed the limited environment. So, you know, maybe I'll even do some, I don't really like doing limited primers. So I think there's a lot better Magic players out there that definitely do a better job than me. But anyway, that's what I think. Maybe I posed the question is, like, you know, what content got you guys to subscribe that is still stuck around with this channel? Or if you see this, like, pop up and you remember my name, The Rogue Deck Builder, was it the brews? Was it the rant videos? Was it like the Marcus stuff? Was it just me as a person? Like, that is one thing that I still can't ever get away with, is I love to create. Whether it will be projects in the future of doing, like, outdoor stuff. My brother is a huge rock climber, and he's actually got permits to do guiding for canyoneering and rock climbing and mountain biking here. And we are, you know, really, really thinking about starting a full-fledged company here. I love to create, and that's what I'm just kind of posing that out there to all of you, is, you know, what got you to subscribe? What did you like most about my channel? And, you know, what do you think going forward with this channel would make it, like, fun and engaging and enjoyable without going crazy on the production line of trying to, like, keep up with brews and keep up with, you know, kind of that rat race of the YouTube content. So that's something I got to think over. Like I said, I'm in a crossroads here. Either I let this channel completely go and focus on the one that is working, or I have to dig deep and find, you know, a way that I can actually still keep up with this channel, maybe go back to the brews, have some fun doing that, and, you know, not really go, you know, too crazy where I get burnt out again and get into that phase of, like, screw Magic and I don't want to play this stupid game anymore. So as I've been there before, like I said, like, that's what I was going with my thought before I got distracted by, like, a rock or a dog, is we got Final Fantasy coming out that is going to be fun. You know, Universes Beyond now is in Magic, so we're going to have to be playing actually Universes Beyond in, like, a competitive kind of brew way for me. I'll have to brew cards with Final Fantasy. And it's okay right now because I enjoyed Final Fantasy. Like, Final Fantasy was definitely something that was a part of my childhood. But, you know, after that, Spider-Man, which I have zero. I didn't like Spider-Man growing up as a kid. It was one of my least favorite kind of Marvel characters, or that sort of the whole New York style. You know, you had all those. I was more of into X-Men, I remember, as a kid, and of course X-Men will probably come to standard eventually. We had the Secret Layers with that. So, you know, that's gonna be very awkward brewing decks with those. And I know on Arena it's gonna be even weirder with, especially Final Fantasy. Or is it Final Fantasy's allowed on Arena, but it's not gonna, Spider-Man's not gonna be on Arena because they somehow didn't get the digital rights to the Universes Beyond. And so they have to, like, reskin cards just for, and rename them just for Magic Arena and Magic Online, which is gonna be super weird. Oh yeah, just make them skins in the paper version, Magic, jeez. Anyway, you know, there's all sorts of problems now with content creation, let alone just the way they're gonna do that on those platforms. So we have a lot to think about for sure. Let me give you some beautiful views. We got the perfect lighting right now. The sun going down, you got these. What I like about this area so much is these cliffs, just the reds and the tans, and we have this desert. Like, the desert blooms in May, so this is going to be dry and miserable come August and July and August and September. It's typically just too hot. But right now in May, especially after some rains we've had, some storms we've had, it's beautiful. There's nothing more gorgeous than central Utah, kind of in this kind of where the Colorado Plateau meets the Great Basin. You got the meld of the two landscapes here, and I think that this is just heaven here in Richfield, Utah. It's the whole reason I'm here. It's the whole reason that I decided to make a store here, is I just am a huge fan of the outdoors and just the freedom, just to be able to look at this. We're taking the dogs up a path. There's not another soul. You go to any major city and there was a path like this, it would be packed with bikers and hikers. And sometimes you'll see some, of course, we're on a bike trail here. It's called the Pavant Trail System, which is actually quite popular. But right now, you know, it's just heaven for me to be here in Richfield, Utah. So yeah. So yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. We have some deciding to do what I want to do with this channel. It's like I said, kind of set it off in the sunset and say it was fun. It led to, you know, creating the store, the Patreon, the business that's thriving, and just be happy for it, or dig deep and see if I can find some enjoyment with Final Fantasy coming out and, you know, doing some content. Like I said, I like the top 10 videos. I think those were quite engaging and it was always fun. I don't know if there ever was a set that I actually did keep with my top 10 and be like, okay, I'm actually brew decks with that. But if I can get some engagement again, if people that still have the want and desire for, you know, someone like me to still brew decks in Magic the Gathering, like I after those 3 FNMs, and especially after talking to Tyler and seeing his brew in action, he did some pretty cool stuff with like a blue green landfall deck that had some cool wombo combos that did end up happening. And like I said, I don't like, I guess going back to my thought that I never finished, like I never liked I always wanted an option for like a low powered format. That's why I loved when they had the standard that was actually like a standard 1.5, like, so it lasted for 1.5 years when they did the fast rotation and everyone lost their minds and people talked about, you know, that there was just a money grab because it's forcing people to, what they liked about Modern and Pioneer was just non-rotating, and then they came out with Modern Horizons anyway, so it was a rotating format and the expensive ass format with those new sets coming out, so it just took that whole theory down the drain. And of course, you know, I'm not playing Modern. Modern is just, it's way too high powered and it's not for me. And if you enjoy Modern and Pioneer, that's like Pioneer is basically a standard right now. So if you enjoy those formats, some more power to you. I particularly don't enjoy Modern, and I'll definitely do Pioneer again. But I am itching for like a low powered format with, you know, constructed. And unfortunately, Wizards just basically said, you know, they're not going to give us that. With the long rotations now and the huge card pool in Standard, it does feel like Modern of the past, which I can still get around and still enjoy. And, you know, rotation will still happen and get problematic cards out and give some kind of wiggle room, and hopefully we'll have this. What I'm loving about this format right now is, yes, it's high powered, but it does still feel flexible to actually brew, and it does still feel like you're playing Magic. Like Esper Bounce and Prowess, and even though the combo decks that they're out right now, yes, they're a little bit cheesy, but you can interact with them. Like that is a lot different than the kind of the standards of the past couple of years where there was just best in slots, and it was just, like I said, autopilot Magic. It was just so boring. It just seems like every idiot could just pick up a deck and be successful because the decks just played themselves, and you couldn't brew in these formats too. And it was just kind of sad too, because there's a lot of flavorful cards that I thought would have been fun to try to play, but it was just so hostile for so long. Like it was just like, okay, just all roads lead to playing this card or this strategy, and it was incredibly frustrating. But as is now, I think there's a lot of room to actually brew in Standard and actually have fun with it. So again, my question posing is what I was talking about a few minutes ago, is, you know, what got you to subscribe? What did you like most about this channel? Where would you like to see the future of this channel go? Whether, again, be just me sunsetting it and moving on, or, you know, give me some ideas, some thoughts of what got you. You know, a lot of you I know are probably moved on from Magic too, because I said this channel's like over 10 years old now, and we've all transitioned to other things, other avenues of life and other hobbies and interests. But I still do play Magic. I still am kicking it. Still got the dogs. Still got the OG Chloe. And, you know, we're still pretty much Kevin from Rogue Deck Builder. A lot has changed, but, you know, Magic is still here. We all enjoy the game, maybe. And yeah, so that's my idea. It's like, so right now, maybe we'll do a top 10 video for Final Fantasy in the next few days and see if I can get some kind of that zeal back of brewing decks. And if I can do that, maybe we'll start out with one brew and see where it goes. And I don't know, maybe playing on a budget, it seems like that's one good thing about Standard right now, is it seems super cheap. You can build a bunch of like Prowess decks for super cheap, a lot of like mono blue tempo decks, Esper Bounce decks. They're not expensive. Like the mana base, like that's one thing with Commander, when they've reprinted some of these lands and Commander decks, it's made it super, super cheap. So the casuals are definitely making the formats very accessible again for especially Standard. And the card pool does seem to have, there's a lot of variety of what you can play right now, which leads brewing. Like brewing can happen when there's, not just like a rock, paper, scissors, best in slot format. When there's when there are like 10, 15 tier decks, it actually allows brews to happen, because then you can put a little bit of flavor twist and find these little niches that can kind of break the meta when people are creating specific decks. I mean, that was the whole story of Soul Sisters. Like, people are like, how would you be successful with Soul Sisters? Well, it was a meta call when it wasn't even an anti-burn deck. It was an anti-Jeskai control was the big one. It was Jund and Jeskai control were huge. And I just realized that they were using lightning bolts as the primary removal spell. And you had they had these tempo feels to them where they did want to be attacking with Tarmogoyf with the Jund, or as far as Jeskai control was still trying to win with damage. And you could actually play this long grindy game with Soul Sisters that had this, I built it like this resilience with some little bit of recursions and stuff, and it was just this perfect meta call. And I think that's kind of the place that Standard's in right now. I think there's a lot of, here's my other flower I love. I don't know what this one's called. I don't know why I'm showing people a flower, but that is the most beautiful flower. The purples just pop. Anyway, so yeah, we got this kind of pretty good meta right now. I've lost Zach's dog. I think he went chasing after something. We'll have to find Bruce. But anyway, yeah, so we have a lot to think about. And kudos to Tyler, big shout out to him of kind of showing me that brewing can still happen and still fun. And man, that card exists? What, man, that card was reprinted? I'm so out of it. I used to know every card. I'd scour through every spoiler. I'd play every format. I'd play Pauper. I'd play Limited. I'd play a little bit dabble in Commander. I'd know the financial aspects of all the cards coming out. And oh man, these dogs, they're going nuts. Day in the life of Kevin. And I would know all of this. And now I'm looking F&M, they reprinted that in Foundations. Monastery Mentor is a card still in Standard, and it's not even seen much Standard play. There's all these things. I'm like, wow. It's kind of sad, because I knew this game in and out. I was definitely a diehard fan of the constructed 1v1 format. I'd attend all the conventions. I'd go to all of them that were in driving distance, whether it be Denver, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City. I had Phoenix. We'd try to actually go there. We'd have a bunch of people that travel together and share hotel rooms, and it was very fun. I am very nostalgic for those type of days. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos. I think one of the other reasons I kind of let this channel die is you get to the point, it's man, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm in my 40s, and when I started the Rogue Deck Builder, I was in my late 20s. I think I was actually early 30s when I finally started the Rogue Deck Builder. I started already old, starting a gaming channel, and I always felt when is it time to throw in the towel and be I'm an old man now, I can't be playing games. But I think our culture has shifted. I kind of made the comparison that no one really expected poker players or sports commentators to give up on sports when they aged. You just kind of switched your roles in it, and maybe that's where I have to make that transition too, is still have a passion, a love for the game, and still be okay with I'm an aging adult. And anyway, so I've really rambled in this video. Come on, Bruce, come on, Buttons. I don't know what you guys chased up there, but I don't want to find out what it chased. I know there's skunks in this area, so come on, guys. They're up here in the weeds chasing something. Come on, Bruce, Buttons, come on. But anyway, yeah, a lot to talk about here. I know this video has been, almost half an hour of me rambling. And just appreciate everyone that did stick around for the journey. Has been through, like I said, 11 years of Rogue Deck Builder. And we had some good times here. And so I'd appreciate a little comment in the comment section below what your favorite moment was, what got you to subscribe, what kept you around for so long, and what you'd like to see in the future. And if I can make it happen, I can make it happen. One thing is I've never been really crazy about doing is editing. And so eventually I know I need to bite the bullet if I'm ever going to be a serious YouTube channel, to kind of clean up the videos and be more concise and whatnot. But yeah, that's where we're at. So anyway, it's been long enough. It's been good to see everyone, and looking forward to seeing your comments in the comment section below. This has been Kevin with Not Gone Rogue Games, or the Rogue Market, actually the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.